All right, everybody, welcome to the Tactical Games Podcast. I'm here with Nick and James, and we are here at the Ranch, which is out in Mountain Home, Texas. It's the sister property of the Ranch, where we're going to be hosting our Magpul Showdown, our Magpul team event this year. Pretty excited about that. We brought the team out here to get you guys some information, kind of show you why we love this place, why this place is awesome, why we wanted to come out here, why we thought this would be a great venue for the team event. So I know, James, you've spent time out here before. Nick, this was your first experience. So just kind of describe what you thought before we came here. Like, what did you think this place was going to be?
I've been to other ranches in Texas before, but this is an extremely special place to set foot on. From like the architecture on the property to just all the different species that you see, let alone walking into Mr. Sadler's trophy room. You guys saw me, my jaw was on the floor for all of 20 minutes straight, just looking at everything that was there. You can tell just over the 150 years they've been on this property, like everything's been meticulously thought about and cared for over the generations. So it's been enamoring, honestly, to walk the property. It's really cool.
And there's so much here. I mean, from the time we pulled in, you guys came in a different gate than us, which I thought was funny. And we didn't even see each other till we got to the headquarters. But from the time we pulled in, you're just kind of in awe.
Yeah.
Like what's something you saw this time that you didn't see or didn't notice before in your previous trips here?
I noticed that we were watching some bison for a little while, and then after a day into it, now you see bison. You're like, oh, bison. Where's the stag at? Yeah. Oh, the giraffe's out today.
Yeah. It's like walking into Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. You just see all these it's insane. Like, you just wouldn't expect to see every time you turn your head. I mean, like you said, we got greeted with bison as soon as we walked in, and like, let alone regular bison, but white bison.
Yeah.
And then the dancing ostrich. Like it was just
angry ostrich.
Ostrich.
And then zebra. Like, there's just zebra everywhere here.
Yeah, and it's insane. It's such an incredible place.
So obviously, as competitors coming in for the team event, you're going to be pretty busy Saturday and Sunday. But I really recommend people coming in. If you can get in Thursday, get in Thursday. If you can stay later, a couple days into it, this place is incredible. I mean, the pool. Most people don't understand this pool, which is just outside of where the cowboy town is. It's not an infinity pool, but it overlooks Africana, they call it, which is where the giraffes are. Mm-hmm. There's Nilgai out there. Wildebeest. There's you name it. There's camels out there.
Yeah.
They're just hanging out. You can sit in the pool and watch any exotic animal that you want, just kind of cruising out in that pasture out there.
It's like you're thrust into Africa. It's crazy to see that's essentially in our backyard.
And on top of that, they also have one of the most beautifully manicured ranges I've seen.
Probably the nicest berm I've seen in a long time.
Very pristine angles on each one of the berms. Yeah. It's incredible. It's gonna make setup like very much more easy than we're used to at some places.
And like a wide bays too, which is great for us, great for you guys. For a team event specifically, you're not on top of each other, so we'll be able to scale that out appropriately. We definitely found a place to shoot long range.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of long range shooting out here. So there's some really cool opportunities to shoot long range. I'm excited about that. We mapped out the run course, which will take you from the long range down around through the amphitheater, around a pond where there was a capybara.
Yeah.
That we were capybara.
Capybara.
Capybara. Whatever.
There
was
a
giant. It looks like Master Splinter hanging out down by the pond, harassing the geese. Swans, fuck it, whatever. He was harassing the creatures
they're all
down
on the
there.
property.
So around there, through some of the trails, by the chow hall, and then back and around the Africana pen. I think we had like 300 feet of elevation change. It was about 3.2 miles. So that'll be a beautiful run for the competitors. I'm really excited about that.
And you run by some cool species too. Like, you run by alpaca. I think we saw fallow, some axis.
Yep.
I mean, it's just going to be such a unique experience for everybody.
Everywhere that we ran, it was like you turn a corner and there was a new species of animal.
Yeah.
And obviously it's outside of this is high fence, but they're just running around everywhere that they want to go. Yeah. It's pretty much free range for them too. That's really cool. Some of the other things that we've seen since we've been out here have been the red stag.
Yeah, Zeus.
Yeah. So that seeing all the red stag out here has been pretty incredible. Obviously, like, I'm not a hunter, but these two gentlemen are. So watching their faces, I know how awesome it is. I'm like, oh, that's a cool red deer.
Just
great rack.
Just a crazy 500-inch red stag. It's everything's just incredible. That's the only word you can use for it.
And we're on the 2 Dot property right now where we're actually filming this. We're in like the secret layer in the basement, which is incredibly cool. This property is just kind of, I've been awestruck since I've been here. I've been here twice now, and both times I walk in and I see something new.
Yeah, and none of it's decorated from West Elm or any other place. Like these are all artifacts from around the world. Like there's just world history just scattered throughout this entire house.
They don't have whale vertebrae at West Elm?
No, not that I'm aware of. No.
All right. So looking at this and looking at programming, since you're going to be writing, the programming and coming up with the ideas for this event, what did you think about this facility? What do you think this facility can offer a team event?
The team event is going to be very unique here because we have a very big range, which is going to be nice. So we're not going to cramp you down on a one tank trap. We might give you a second one, give you a little bit of space to breathe. We're going to have some more ground to cover. Actually get to do some long range shooting.
Yeah.
Some very nice long range shooting. I'm pretty excited to see what we can make the teammates suffer with together. And I think the big challenge for me with programming is keeping stages that keep everybody's attention on because they're going to want to go do other stuff on the ranch.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I'm really encouraging people to come early or stay later. This is definitely a family-friendly place.
Totally.
Like, you could bring kids here.
Yeah.
I know, you have a bunch of kids. So as a father, is this a place that you would bring your kids?
Absolutely. I mean, you got the safari. You got, even if you don't go on the safari itself, just your eyes are going to be constantly distracted with, there's another animal, there's another trail, there's something else going on. The food, if people complain about the food,
there's something wrong with you. They had vegetables at every meal.
Yeah, authentic.
Yeah, we got adventure camp as well too, which is really cool. Tons of bunk houses, fire pits everywhere. Like you can create a really cool experience for your family coming out here after the event or before.
And the time of year that we'll be here, utilizing the fire pits will be something that's actually going to happen, which is awesome. I think I already mentioned it. They have 20 RV hookups here as well, full RV hookups. So if you're driving your RV out here, you're gonna have a great spot to stay. I can't overemphasize how family friendly this place is. If you're coming, bring your kids, bring your family, bring your wife, or bring your husband. Let them wander around during the day. There's the pool's an option. There's, like Gill said, tons of places to walk around, tons of different paths you can go on. There's a petting zoo here. They've got monkeys. They've got you name it, domesticated animals. Yet alone all the exotics and the wild animals that they have here as well. So definitely a place of interest. Anything else you guys want to touch on with that before we move on to the next thing?
No, I think you hit on everything.
The Texas Ranger stuff here is pretty cool too. The history of the Texas Rangers and how they've been involved here. So they do have a Texas Ranger museum here as well, which is pretty cool. The stars last night were crazy.
The moon, everything, and even the history. Like I'd suggest you guys look into the history of this place too, especially if you're into hunting. This place literally started the birth of leasing land for private property in Texas, which is now like a mainstay for people who hunt out here because of all the private property. So, it's pretty unique in that regard as well too, along with the Texas Ranger history. It's a really cool place.
Yeah. One item of note: if you are staying off site, give yourself like an extra 20 minutes from the time you get to the property to where we're going to start. I think they said they're at, oh gosh, I don't remember offhand. Maybe he said 18 square miles, but it might be larger than
Something
that.
like that, yeah.
Just for YO, and then you bring 2 Dot into that as well. So it's big. Give yourself time to get here and leave in the morning. And Sunday, after completion of the event, we're going to do a award ceremony in a different place than we normally do. We're also, the chef here is going to do a pig roast, so we'll have a pig going on, which I'm pretty excited about. That's going to be something awesome that we haven't ever really been able to do before, but proximity to home for us here, we'll be able to camp out that night, get the drive knocked out the next day, and not have a ton to worry about. So excited to be able to spend some time with some of the community. Team events are always fun anyways, but that's we'll have a little after hours after we complete the event there. Right outside where a good majority of the lodging is, there's a really cool open area. They've got a little bar out there and a huge fire pit and a ton of seating. And then there's the game room right behind that. There's a pool table in there and tons of different things for people to do. So I'm excited about that. I think this is gonna be a great event.
Yep, 100%. And I think Kerrville's the closest town. It's about 30 minutes out. So like you said, just plan to make sure you guys get some time out here and get here early and on time.
Yeah, so from what it sounds like, if you wanted to use the lodging here on site at YO or at 2 Dot, they run the full gamut. It's like they have rustic camping, which you can do. They have like yurts. They have bunk houses. They have Airbnbs, they have anything that you could imagine. So whatever your budget is, there's an opportunity for you to come out here and stay on site.
Food packages available as well. If you didn't want to bring food, they have a full kitchen, chef, team of chefs and all that stuff.
And they're going to be bringing a food truck in as well. So we'll have, even if you didn't get a food package, you'll have the ability to get food on site as well, because you're not going to be able to leave during the middle of the day. It's just timing wise not going to work out very well. All right, so next topic we're going to be discussing today then is athlete camp. So athlete camp, this will be our third year doing athlete camp, I think. Athlete camp every year has gotten better. It's progressed. It's like the curriculum's developed. Everything that's happening there just seems to be improved upon every year. James, since you're leading this up for the tactical games, what do what are your big goals, your big vision? What are you seeing for this year's camp?
Well, in previous events, we know that we have entry-level athletes coming across that are looking to see what's going on at the games. But then we miss out on some of the athletes that are already competing that think it's not for them. This year, I think we're going to cover from the entry level to the most advanced competitor. If you want to come out to the athlete camp, we have something that's going to cover and benefit you. So everything from entry level shooting all the way up to advanced stage planning, mental management, and we've got a pretty solid group of instructors going through. Everyone's going to have one-on-one time. It's really looking forward to putting together awesome classes there. So I'm pretty excited about it. I know, as long as we get the weather on our side, we should be good, but I don't think rain has scared us too much.
Yeah.
Having the awnings out there, so being at Staccato,
sure.
We've been at Texas Shooting Academy the past couple of years. Texas Shooting Academy offers a ton of variety. There's a lot of great options and things for us to do there, but there's no cover. Right, so being able to have cover at every one of the bays now, being able to have electricity and water, it just opens up so many new possibilities and things for us to do.
And a clubhouse.
And a clubhouse, right, yeah. So we are working on getting our clubhouse. We're basically moving headquarters. We'll be co-headquartered out at Staccato Ranch on one of the properties that they have that's just on the property, but kind of off-site from the main facility. So we're excited to be moving out there. Excited to have our clubhouse going in out there, and our studio. That'll be our new home for our podcast studio. We'll have a lot of things going on. Now for athlete camp specifically, if I'm a shooter that's been around, I've competed a couple times, but I'm not really I'm not progressing. I'm going to the range, I'm just kind of doing my thing, and I'm making slight, maybe incremental improvements. Do you see that as being a viable option for an athlete to come in and really move up the leaderboard or advance in their knowledge base at camp?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously we have our online programming, which is very successful. But being in person, there's nothing better than having a coach that can see what you're doing and fine tune it immediately, and then give you homework to go on and practice through that. Not to mention, let's say you're an entry-level competitor watching an experienced athlete going through an event. You might just see something different. And the reverse of that is, as an experienced athlete, even watching a novice shooter come through and watch and say, okay, now I see how different the movement is and how important it is. And, most of the people they know what the physical movements are. They want to go to the gym every day. Well, if you miss the gym days, it's going to be 6 or 8 months of improvement to get there. But with shooting or stage mapping, just your comfort at an event, it doesn't take but just a few seconds to step back and look at it and say, oh, now I get what's going on. So, the one-on-one coaching is going to be a really big part of that. I don't think we've had any, I don't think there's an athlete in the sport right now that can't use some improvement or coaching. So nobody's immune to it, myself included. I could use a little bit of help on the fitness, touch, there's some growth there, but for sure. And being that we're going to have high levels of, you look at the resumes of the instructors that are coming across, they've competed at every venue that we've ever run at. They're all experienced or titled athletes themselves. So if you're not picking up something at the camp, well, then you just weren't there.
Yeah,
you weren't open to it. Yeah.
Well, and the cool thing I think too about a good majority of our instructors is they bring some real world based knowledge, right? A majority of them have some type of real world experience where they've actually they carry a gun for a living or they've made their money in that way. But they're also interested in competition. So it's and this is something that we've talked about a lot, Gill and I, and Nick included, is the difference between people shooting in the military, people shooting in law enforcement, and competition shooting. So it's very interesting to watch somebody kind of evolve from one into the other and take practical applications from all those different places and then apply them in different ways. I think that's been one of the most exciting things for me, is seeing how people will come from a Miller LE background and they come into a shooting sport, and the ones that are willing and understanding that there's opportunity for them to learn do a great job at it, and they've definitely done that. So that a lot of our instructor base this year has that background and that experience. Yep. Anything else you want to cover for Athlete Camp today?
No, we'll post, obviously dates are posted. The instructor bios are going out as we move forward. It's at Staccato Ranch, so it'd be the same lodging and accommodations as we had for nationals. I think everybody's familiar with that. If you don't, we'll have links posted. So
yeah, I noticed this can you have on. What are you looking for here?
Just need a little pep in my step, and I've been a huge fan of the Dream School for years. But, man,
they're just not answering the phone when I call. Reese's Pieces still hasn't reached out yet, or Reese's Peanut Butter Cup still hasn't reached out yet.
We're still working on Smuckers for the Uncrustables too.
Our pleas for sponsorships aren't working on here. So
yeah, we're trying.
Nestle, please, please. So what else do we have going on? Anything else that we want to talk about? Cover on the Tactical Games podcast today?
You hit on moving the HQ over to Staccato Ranch, and the skirmishes have now been moved over there full time now as well too. So we're rolling those out every month as well. And same thing, we're working on the same trajectory and just trying to make those better for everybody every month that we run those out. Especially for newer athletes, kind of get you an opportunity to dip your toe in the water and just kind of get a feel for how to map stages, how to run through stages, and it's much more. We want to make sure that we're helping out with coaching you guys and making sure that people know what they're doing when they're out there. So, running on those and trying to build those up as well too.
Yeah. So skirmish, that's a great topic we can run through pretty quickly. I know you guys are waiting to hear back from us and waiting to hear what the next steps for skirmish are. We're waiting for one more partnership to kind of come to fruition and make its way through the final steps of like negotiation. Once we have that down, we're going to be accepting 10 skirmish partners this year. Mm-hmm. We're going to do. We'll probably jump on Zoom, have an open invite for anybody that wants to come on board. We're going to talk you all through what the requirements are, and then we'll have an open application process. We're going to jump into that pretty quick. We're going to get people applied. Basically, you're going to need a home range. You're going to have the ability to gain insurance. There's going to be some baselines that you're going to need to have. And then with that, we're going to get everybody seated with some equipment. And right now, the idea is going to be that we're going to run a shooting-only stage and a true tactical game stage that'll have fitness and shooting. Every one of the skirmishes is going to run those two events that month. Mm-hmm. For the other two stages, you'll be able to kind of just do what you can with your range, what your equipment availabilities are, and that kind of thing. But those two scores will be entered into a leaderboard that we'll have on the website. So those are all things that we're working on. Obviously, we want to give you all an opportunity to compete every month at a local level. Those of you that are lucky enough to have one in your states. And as that skirmish program starts to grow, the idea is to have skirmish programs all over the place. So no matter what state you're in, you can kind of go like you might see a USPSA match now. You can go on the weekend and you can find one at your local range. Because that's incredibly important to us. It's important to get people shooting more actively, more often. And so you're getting other people out, bringing other people into the sport, bringing other people into the shooting sports as well. Anything that we can do to start to get more people exposed to the shooting sports and to, being a firearm owner, supporting the Second Amendment, but also like being not complacent. Complacent's not the word that I'm looking for in there. Competent firearm owner, which would go with the Kookaburra.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's all in the same silo.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you all very much for tuning in. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.